You might remember that at the beginning of this Nearpod lesson, I told you our goal today was to be able to say, I can turn key details into questions to help me understand a story. Before we learn how to do that, I want to make sure there are two words that you know really well. The first word is details. Remember, details are pieces of information the author shares with us that are in the story. Most stories have a lot of details. That's what makes them good stories. But sometimes it's hard to remember all of the details because there are so many of them. So we look for something called key details. Key details are the details that are very important. We might call them the VIP details. These details, if they weren't in the story would not make sense. Today we're going to use these key details to help us ask questions about a story to make sure that we understand it. We can use key details to help us write green questions about the story. When we're talking about green questions, we're talking about questions that are right there. They are questions that are in the text. You can put your finger right on the answer. Green questions might start with these words. It might start with who, what, where, when, how, or even why. Today we're going to learn how to take the details of the story, use one of these green question words, and make a question about the story. Are you ready to see how to do this? Here are the steps that you can follow to ask green questions about key details in your text. First, you're going to create a T-chart and label it with key details and questions. To do this, you get a blank piece of paper, draw a line down the middle, and a line across from left to right. Then on one side you write key details, and on the other side you write questions. Then you look back at the story to find a key detail. Remember, a key detail is a very important piece of information that the author tells about the story. A piece of information that if it wasn't there, the story wouldn't make sense. And then you turn that key detail into a question. You choose one of those green question words and ask a question that could be answered by the key detail. Let's practice doing this work using a page from our story, Henry and Mudge. I've created my T-chart and labeled it Key Details and Questions. Now I need to look back at the story to find a key detail. If you want, you can pause this video, get your journey's text, and go to page 17 to follow along. Or you can just follow along on the screen. I'm going to reread this page to find a key detail. Remember, a key detail is a very important piece of information. Okay, let's reread. Henry had no pets at home. I want to have a dog, he told his parents. Sorry, they almost said. Okay, I need to think. What is a key detail on that page? Well, I see where it says I want to have a dog. I know that that is a key detail because it tells me the problem that Henry is having. So on my chart, I write, Henry wanted a dog. Now I need to take that detail and turn it into a question. I'm looking at my green questions. Who, what, where, when, how, why? I need to pick one of those that could make a question where the answer would be Henry wanted a dog. I'm going to choose the question word what, and I'm going to ask the question, what did Henry want? Do you see how my key detail answers that question? What did Henry want? Henry wanted a dog. That's how we find key details and turn them into green questions that are right there in the text. Now it's your turn to try. I want you to reread page 19. Again, you can read it in your journey's text, or you can just read it on this screen. I want you to go to the next Nearpod slide and answer this question. What is a key detail from this part of the story? How can you turn that key detail into a question? On the next Nearpod slide, you're going to have a chance to record your answers. Have fun!